Top of it, top of it, top of it. It's your boy Coach One Stack, man. We at it. And hey man, thanks for rocking with your boy, man. Rock with me, I rock with you. And this is a very, very well needed video. You dig? And you know I don't like to keep y'all too long, but everybody keep asking how come the singer David, who we think deleted Celeste and had her body in the trunk of that Tesla, how come he has not been arrested? That is the $1 million question. And I'm gonna break it down for y'all, man. I'm gonna break it down. It's gonna make sense. But before I break it down, guys, do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. It's free. Ain't nobody else on the internet dropping game and information about law and crime just like I do, because it ain't too many people that have been, a full-fledged, law enforcement officer and ran the streets and delivered by God from 8 years ago. You dig? So I got quite the perspective on things, and I can tell you why things are the way that they are. So everybody want to know, everybody keep asking, how come David ain't locked up? How come David ain't locked up? We got all the evidence. You have to understand something. When it comes to murder, people, there's this thing called double jeopardy. You only can get tried one time. So let me give y'all some game. If the police were to arrest David, right, as soon as they had the evidence and found that body in the trunk, here's what could possibly happen. You have to remember, first of all, a DA has to get their case ready for trial. And when you're dealing with murder, that is the ultimate thing. That's why they're never in a rush to arrest anybody for murder, because there's no statute of limitations on murder. And so when you come in with a murder charge against somebody, people, your ducks, your I's got to be dotted, your T's got to be crossed, and, they coming because they don't want you to slip free like O.J. Simpson, right? Or like Hernandez Govan. They got to have all their ducks in a row because you only get one shot. And so what will happen is, in the case of murder trials, if you go arrest somebody really quick and you don't have all your shit in order as the prosecutor, what can happen is that person can waive their right to a speedy trial, and they can ask to go to trial in the next couple of weeks. All they have to do is have an open court date in district court, where they have jury trials at. They could possibly be in court in the next 2 to 3 weeks if they have an opening in court. So that means that if the DA don't have all their shit in order, witness statements, the evidence, blood splatter, experts, everything that they need to have, it takes a lot to put a murder case together, guys. I never was a homicide detective, but I was a detective in 2 bureaus. But when it comes to homicide, when you're dealing with a homicide, you got to understand the homicide detective is telling the story of the person that can't tell their story. And they want to get the facts right, and they got to get it done the first time. So if they waive their right to a speedy trial and the DA is not prepared, that means that David could go free and he could never be tried again for the murder of Celeste. And we want justice for Celeste, because do we believe he did it? Hell yeah. Does everything point to him? Of course it does. But it's not about what happened. It's about what you can prove. And when you're going into the courtroom, all David's attorney has to do is create this much reasonable doubt to sway one juror, and then you have a mistrial. Or he's found not guilty, and then you can never, ever try him again. So are y'all keeping up with me on that? See, because, everybody's saying, justice for Celeste, arrest David. If you guys want justice, I need you guys to, learn how to slow down and read up on your law. Read up on your law. It doesn't matter if they come to him 2 years from now and arrest him. David ass ain't going nowhere, people. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't escaping. They got this evidence. And when they bring them charges, remember, you heard it on my channel first. When they indict him, okay, he will have, I predict off the rip, he will have no bail, just like Diddy, no bail. And because you are in California, because David ain't built like that, let me go ahead and predict to y'all what's going to happen. See, once I predict to y'all, matter of fact, I want y'all to share this video 1,000 times. Just so it can be on record that Coach One Stack predicted this shit off the rip. Here's what's going to happen to David, and I'm going to tell you. David ain't built like that. He ain't no street dude. If he go to the penitentiary, he going to be somebody's prison wife. He going to be somebody's boyfriend. So what's going to happen with David is they're going to offer David a deal, because you got to remember, they're in California. They have the death penalty in California. And if he is found guilty of first-degree murder, he will and can be facing a death penalty. So this is how they scare people like David. So what they do is they're going to come and offer David a deal. They're going to offer him they're either going to offer him life without the possibility of parole, which means he ain't never getting out. He ain't never seeing no parole board. Or they have different types of sentences where they might get a 20 to life, a 25 to life, a 30 to life. They're going to offer him some type of deal like that, just so they can cut through all the court costs. And because they will have the evidence stacked up against him, that's what he'll probably take as the deal. You see what I'm saying? Now, he'll have a high-priced attorney, but we don't know the evidence that is laid out against him at this point. You know, we don't know. Only the police know, and only David know, and God know. You dig what I'm saying? So when David is finally arrested, yeah, let him go ahead and do his tours. Let him get his money. He ain't, listen, he may, and I want y'all to know, he may think that he's fooling everybody else and that he's getting away with it. All they're doing is just making their case Trump tight before they indict him. Because once they indict him, the clock starts ticking. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. I don't try to talk to my family. I look at y'all like family. I don't try to talk to you guys like you're stupid or like you slow or anything like that. I break down this law because I was in law enforcement. I was in the streets. I'm delivered by God. So David, this is why David has not been arrested, people. And same thing with the Diddy trial. Everybody's on my page saying, well, if Diddy did it, how come he ain't been arrested? I said, they're going to indict him when they get ready to. And what happened? He's indicted, and he's about to go to prison for 11 to 15 years. Same thing with David. David will be indicted. David will be given a choice to take a deal, in which his little ass will take, because he ain't built like that. You dig what I'm saying? He don't have, unless he got somebody to tell on, unless he got a co-defendant, because like you say, you never know how this person passed away. You don't know who's an accessory after the fact. We don't have any of the facts right now, other than Celeste was found in the trunk of a car that belonged to him, that had been sitting outside of a Hollywood Hills home that he had been staying at. All of that is circumstantial right now. So the detectives, man, and just so you know, a homicide detective is the cream of the crop. When you are a homicide detective, you are the cream of the motherfucking crop of that department when it comes to your investigation skills. Because remember, you telling the story of a person that can't tell their story. You have to figure out everything that happened without knowing what happened. That's why they're the cream of the crop. And for those of y'all who ever been in law enforcement, it's hard as hell to get your ass to homicide. And once you get out of homicide, you're definitely going to get promoted. You dig? And always be able to go back to homicide, because that is a very, very special skill. So, man, I didn't want to keep y'all too long. I just wanted to break down to you why David has not been arrested yet. And so you'll have a better understanding. And like I said, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and guys, I need 100 comments below on this video. You tell me, how long do you think they're gonna take to indict David for the murder of Celeste? Hey man, justice for Celeste. Justice for Celeste, justice for the Diddy victim, justice for anybody out there where somebody has done them a wrong, and justice for y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay blessed, never stress, and make sure you're getting plenty of rest, and stay the fuck out of trouble.